What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of My Hero Academia. Episode, if I'm not mistaken, episode 9 of season 8. We only got like, what, 2 to 3 episodes left before My Hero is completely gone. It's hard to believe that My Hero is about to end. I don't know, man. I feel like it's too soon, man. Too soon. But hey, I need you guys to answer this for me. How many of y'all had trouble with Hulu? Like, I was trying to watch My Hero on Hulu. It had no subtitles. And then it's not even on Disney Plus right now. Like, I don't know what's going on with this episode, but I had to watch it by other means. And I don't like doing that. I be feeling guilty, especially since it's the final season. But it's like, yo, what's up with the subtitles missing? Like, what's going on? But anyway, this was an amazing episode, man. It was one of those episodes where, hey, your boy shed some tears. Ain't nothing wrong with a grown man crying, but just to think that this episode brought a boy to tears, like a man to tears. I'm a man, damn it. It was just unexpected, man. But we got to talk about this episode. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. But what really got to me in this episode, we got to see the world helping out, trying to help repair. You had heroes from all over the world traveling to Japan to help rebuild after that big final battle we got, you know what I'm saying, in the last episode. You even got it where you see heroes that took place, that was actually in the movie, the third movie, when Deku was, with the bombs and stuff. You had those heroes, like that mummy guy, he was in the movie. That's when I first seen him. I mean, we might have showed him at another point, but you had the heroes from the movie in this episode. But what really got me is when you got Deku talking to All Might about, the final moments of, Shigaraki, and how he wasn't able to save the life of Shigaraki. And All Might saying, well, if you were able to stop him from crying, if you wasn't able to see that crying boy anymore, then you did save him. You may didn't save his life, but you saved his soul. That was powerful right there. But then you got Deku telling All Might like he just has the ambers left of his quirk. He doesn't have the quirk itself anymore. Now, I feel like it might be more than just the ambers left over, because if I recall, I don't remember seeing All Might quirk or essence being transferred into Shigaraki. I don't remember that, but it could have happened and maybe I just overlooked it. But you have, while that conversation is going on, Bakugo shows up and he's crying, yo. And I don't know why. When I seen that scene, that shit hit hard, yo. He's crying. He's like, yo, Deku, I just assumed that we would have this competition for the rest of our lives. Like, we'll be going back and forth competing to be the number one hero. And hearing this, like, yo, it can't be. Is it true? And Deku looks at him and is like, yeah, I no longer have a quirk. I'm like I once was. And Bakugo, he's like crying. You got it where his mom is about to reach out and try to pull him out the room because she feel like this is, a private conversation that All Might and Deku's having. But then the father grabs, Bakugo's mom like, yo, nah, man, let our son get it out. And he starts crying. And he was, he's thinking about all the stuff, the bad stuff he did with Deku, far as like once Deku had a quirk, saying Deku was a liar, saying he was this, he was that. You got it with Bakugo. He's in tears. And I'm not gonna lie, man. This part, like, it hit, yo, it really hit. And just to see the tears that Bakugo has, it's insane. Like I said, Bakugo and Endeavor, I feel like they've had some of the best character development in all of My Hero. Like, if there's a character you feel like had more development than these two, let me know. Don't get me wrong. A lot of characters had development in this series. This is why the series is so great. But I feel like those two had the most. And it's debatable far as which one of them had the most between Endeavor and Bakugo. I want to say Bakugo, but there's moments where I'm like, yo, it could very well be Endeavor who's had the most. But it is what it is. But you have it where All Might is pretty much trying to cheer both of them up, saying like, yo, Deku, I thought you was a hero from the very moment you first saved Bakugo, when they was fighting that sludge villain. And then he looks at Bakugo and says, yo, it's because of you that I'm even here to say these words. So you guys are both heroes. We see that Deku has his new haircut now because, we get a little bit of a fast forward in time. And you see Deku, he got the haircut because of his injuries. And when this happened in the manga, a lot of people weren't happy over this new look. I thought it looked pretty cool, if you ask me, but a lot of people was upset about the haircut. But for me, like I said, I rock with it. Then you have it where you got Aoyama, he's leaving. He says he wants to atone for his sins, so he no longer wants to be at UA. he wants to find a way to be a hero and repent for his sins. And then you also have it where Shinzo joined class. It's no longer class 1A, but 2A now because they're in their second year. And due to circumstances of the battle, they have it where Eraserhead is still their teacher, which I actually think is pretty cool, man. You know, they could have that same teacher for all 4 years. Well, I don't know if it's going to be all 4 years, but at least they got it for their first 2 years. And then another touching moment, man, towards the end of the episode, you have it where, you know, Shoto, he meets up with his family and they go to see Dabi. And this scene was right here was just, I don't know, man, it's just crazy. And when I see this scene of Dabi, you know, in the hospital bed, well, in this hospital machine that's kind of like keeping them alive, like this life support system. I don't know why the song I Let the World Burn just kept playing in my head as I was watching this moment. But I felt sorry because the doctor says, like, yo, he can only speak for a couple minutes a day. You know, he will die eventually. And I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they do a time skip and the man's still alive. He's still clinging to life. But you have it where, you know, his family is pretty much talking to him. You have Endeavor saying he's retiring from being a hero. He can't even stand. He's telling Dabi, like, yo, your hellfire or your hell flames was more powerful or more hotter than any flame I've ever seen. He's praising his son, letting his son know, like, yo, you are strong. And you got it where Dabi just, you know, he's pretty much saying, like, yo, my condolences from ending your hero career. But I think he was more so he was being a smartass in a way. And then you have it where Endeavor says he's going to try to atone for his sins by being there to talk to his son every day until he passed. He says, yo, it's the least that he can do. He's ready to listen to all that his son has to say. And of course, you have it where the heartbeat of Dabi starts to elevate, and you have it where tears start running down his face. He sees his family there, and you have it where, you know, the doctors are saying, like, yo, he's had enough for the day. We gotta, you know, put him away because any more strain it can be bad for his heart. And I love the way the voice actor did such a great job on the speech, the way Dabi talked, where you can actually hear the sound of a person who had a burnt, scorched throat trying to speak. I just thought that was a small detail that they added that was, it was a nice touch, man. Gosh, man, this episode was really good. Then you just have it where, you know, as they're walking off and leaving, Shoto asks him what's his favorite food, and Dabi, before they put him away, says, I believe says soba, and you have it where, you know, Shoto says it's his favorite. Then as they get outside, you got the brother, what's his name again? It's the name of I believe it's the same name, Natsu. Yeah, same name as the guy from Fairy Tail. He says he's going to get married. You know, he asks his wife to marry him. It's not going to be a wedding or nothing. Endeavor's never going to see his family, and he's going to disappear. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit harsh, but that's what he's planning on doing. Then you got it where the sister, you know, she's gotten a new job, and she has a friend that's going to help her out with that new job. And Endeavor says he's going to do the best to make sure that the press don't find out where they are, and they're not hounded, you know, because of his past, you know, because of what he did. And of course, the son, you know, Naksu says, like, yo, that's going to be a hellish road to ride. And you got Endeavor saying, like, yo, it's my way of repentance. And then he tells his father, like, yo, this is the first time I ever thought you were pretty cool. But he's still leaving him. So I don't know, maybe it's still kind of open-ended, but you have it where the kids go on their own journeys. Of course, Shoto, he plans on becoming a hero and being the person he want to be. But like I said, this episode, man, it just hit a different way. But let me know y'all thoughts on this one, man. How y'all feel about this episode? Were there moments that kind of got you emotional? Let me know down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace.